Welcome to another edition of One Side, where Budge and I are going to run you through the games this weekend. As you know, there's a bit of a hiatus in the Premier League, British football, but there's international games, there's friendlies, and of course there's League One games coming through. It looks very, very interesting again, and Budgie's bets are flying. And we're going to go through obviously the soccer 6, 10 and 13 for you. Budge, let's go through what's happened during the week. It's always interesting. Last night, friendlies. I read the report. I didn't watch the game. Did you watch England play Germany?
I watched most of it, yeah.
Podolski scored.
Yeah, screamer.
I saw the goal.
Yeah.
I saw the goal. Very good goal. The report said England played very well.
Well, Dele Alli missed 2 sitters, yeah.
He's saving him for the league.
Lana hit the post first half.
He's inclined to miss sitters.
You know, they played well, England. They just lack a quality midfield player.
They played that ex-Spurs Hullboy.
Huddleston, yeah.
No,
not Huddleston, Livermore.
Livermore,
sorry.
They played Livermore.
He played okay.
He had about 1,700 games or weeks between his last appearance for England.
He's a simple,
good player.
safe player,
safe.
educated player, doesn't give it away. I was impressed with England.
Yeah.
They scored first.
What was the younger squad? Vardy should have scored.
Oh, Vardy, you know.
I
just don't think he's that class, Paul. Yeah,
but he plays the type of football. Yeah, he plays the type of football, gets behind people. But I agree with you, he's not classy. But just reading the report, they said it was the first defeat for permanent manager.
Yeah.
Budge, I think they're a good team. Are they going with youth?
Well, I think they have to. You know, the game's changed. You've got to have pace today. And they're pacey. I like the fullbacks.
Yeah.
At back, you know, Michael
Keane,
young United guy who's now playing for Burnley. Cahill and Smalling. They played 3 at the back.
They played 3 at the back, correct. And did they have wing backs?
Yep. Bertrand and your Spurs boy.
Which one?
Walker.
Okay, Bertrand on the left of Walker.
And Dyer played in the middle of the park with Lallana and Livermore, and 2 boys up front, Dele Alli and Vardy.
Ali's a good act.
Yeah, you know, he's got to grow into that position, but he is a good player.
He's quality. You know, he broke his records, first player to get X amount of goals as a midfielder, ahead of some great players. So you were impressed him. They lost. His first defeat was a friendly, and Podolski's last game.
Yeah, last game. Played 130 times
for
the German. Yeah, his third most behind.
He played in Europe for Arsenal.
Yeah, he played left wing for Arsenal. I was in Blum when he scored against England. Great left foot, yeah.
Well, was he in Blum as well, or were you watching the game?
I was watching in Blum when Liverpool right back, who's now at Stoke, is it Johnson?
Yes.
Gave him half a yard, he hit it first time. Screamer.
Was the game in Blum?
Blum, yeah.
Oh, I thought
it was a World Cup last 16
visiting relatives, Budge or something. Okay, then Scotland, 1-1 with Canada.
I don't know what's going on. When you look at the players that they've got nobody. Robert Snodgrass is their best player. Yeah, they're really struggling.
He's in the British Premier League goal scoring Golden Boot charts. He's the highest. He's got the most goals of any Scottish player.
Yeah, must be.
Do you know that? The top 2 English players?
Well, it must be Kane and is it Ali?
Yeah, very good. Okay. You're very good, Budge.
Lucky again. No,
very good. 21 games is 21 goals. Lukaku.
Yeah.
He's ahead of Kane on 19, and then you got the usual suspects in behind them. But surprising, some of the teams haven't got that many guys in double figures.
Sure, United's one of them.
Well, they got the Zlatan.
And who else?
I don't think they got much coming through after that. No, you're right.
Close.
Zlatan's doing it, yeah. Yeah, Spurs have got about 4, but there's
Ericsson.
Yeah, and they've got a few in there. Okay, so Lucas Podolski's hung up his boots. Well done to him. And he's the 3rd most games for his country. And for a country that's that powerful, it's a credible record.
It's 13 years he played. It helps when the coach likes you. Joachim Low and him are big mates. And him and Angela Merkel reportedly are, you know, when they won the World Cup.
Who?
In the German national team. Podolski, no, he got him in the change room. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well done.
Well respected. Yeah.
He got 48 goals, Budge. That's not to be scoffed at, eh? Yeah. All right, let's go and have a look at the Premier League. We always like to look back on the weekend's Premier League. Yeah. West Brom, Arsenal.
Desperation, Arsenal. Every cross in the box. West Brom always score from corners. But it's just a lack of intent and commitment to me. They just stood off.
Yeah. Do you know, funny enough, the Thursday papers in London, Arsene Wenger is going to sit with the board and work out his successor with them on condition he gets 2 more years. But 2 guys are going to go. The German and the Chilean.
Well, I think
2 class acts, especially the Chilean.
Well, Paul, it's
is he Chilean the way
up front? Yeah, Sanchez.
Yeah. Sanchez. Now Sanchez and what's the German? Ozil. They're going to have to go. This is this morning's paper in London. Arsenal cannot afford to do that, but they've got their eye on a few other guys.
Yeah, but 2 more years, Paul.
Yeah, you're going to get 2 more
You know,
years.
it's an absolute disgrace. You know, since they had the Invincibles in 2004, they've won 2 FA Cups.
Not
the thing
3.
is, oh, could have. I thought it was only 2.
They weren't 2
Oh,
in a
sorry,
row.
it was 3. So I was with Sharesy on the third one when they beat us. Yeah,
Yeah.
but no, it's if you're an Arsenal fan, you know, it's everywhere. Everybody says, "Well, what will happen to Man United?"
Do you think they're not playing for him? Because he's not a bad manager.
Well, you know, the last 13 years, he is a bad manager, Paul. When last he get to the quarterfinals of the European
But
Champions?
he's got them into top 4 every year.
Yeah, top 4
Champions
Arsenal.
League money. Yeah, got him Champions League money last 13 years, you know. And he might still do it again.
Well, what do you want? Do you want the money or do you want the trophies?
Well, it's always been money with them, you know.
Well,
you know what they
it.
sold? You know, they bought Le Sulk for 500,000. They sold him for millions. They sold off Henry up front. They sold great players. He's done a good job. But
Paul, my question to you is, if you look at that Arsenal team, how many players would Spurs buy?
Was that Arsenal team now? Sanchez in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Ozil's a bit of a luxury.
I wouldn't have Ozil.
No, I'm just saying a bit of a luxury. Where are we deficient?
You know,
Up
you
front,
look at
we'd buy Sanchez. But
that would
maybe
be the
one of
only
their
one.
strikers. One of their strikers. Him
and maybe Bellerin. I wouldn't, you know, Bellerin, good player, but you've got a good right back.
We've got Trippier as well.
You know, so that's years ago. How many Tottenham? You know, and you look at Arsenal.
Yeah. No, I get your point. Stoke 1, Chelsea 2. Now, Chelsea are a very good side, but they got lucky.
Yeah, they did, yeah.
You can't have a left back turning this way to pass back to his goalkeeper and not use his right foot. He uses his left foot, kicks into touch, corner, the guy heads it, boom, and they score. There's 88th minute.
No, it's gone for them all season.
Gone for them.
Yeah, they've earned it. Good side,
right.
top manager.
It's looking more and more like they're going to win it. But if you take it from a Spurs perspective and a Man City perspective, 10 games, 10 points.
Yeah.
That's how you've got to look at it. You've got to view it. And it's tough. But again, a great free kick by Alonso.
Paul, no chance. It's over.
You think so? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, remember that. We told you Chiefs and Pirates couldn't win the league here. Stoke City played well.
Yeah.
Okay. West Ham 2, Leicester. West Ham should not have lost on the chances. But Leicester...
But you can't defend like they did.
To be or not to be?
That's 4 in a row.
4 in a row. Well done. Leicester 3-2 after being 3-1 up. Okay. Then Sunday it got interesting. Middlesbrough... I watched that game, but it was 2-1 to Man United, and Middlesbrough were pressing hard.
You know, at times I backed Mourinho. This time I can't. We're an attacking club. You can't take forwards off to play 4 defenders and try and... Not Middlesbrough.
Puts you under pressure.
Well, you know, Gustet is a good header of a ball.
Very good.
So is Negreira. Now we've got 4 defenders trying to mark those. We couldn't get out.
That's right.
We were lucky.
It could have gone 2-2.
It wasn't a 3-1.
No, it wasn't 3-1.
Keeper
And the
slips,
third goal was
Valdez.
just a complete horror show by the keeper. He slipped.
You know, but it was a good 3 points, but I just didn't like our performance.
Yeah. Now then the next game was Tottenham 2-1. I took the result because second half Tottenham came, Southampton came very strong. We were country.
All over them.
We should have gone 3-0 up first half. We had a great chances, and we were doing well without Kane. You know, we did well, and then we had chances, but then they came back very strongly. They're a good team.
Yeah, they are a good team. They should have won the League Cup, but no, they never. But
Southampton are a good team. They made us play. What's that? 10, 11 home wins in a row for Spurs. Spurs are very good at home, so I'm pleased to take the win. But it could easily have been 2-2, the same as it could have been Man United, Middlesbrough 2-2.
Yeah, definitely.
Then the last game was a good game for the neutrals. Man United
should have been
Man
4-4.
City. Should have been 4-4.
Yeah.
I thought Lallana's miss. He had sleepless night. Took his eye off the ball.
You know, I think sometimes the ball comes across too quickly.
Yes.
And sometimes it comes across too slowly.
It's like bowling.
And I just, you know, it's easy to be critical. He's been their best player other than Sadio Mane this year, Lallana. I really like him.
Yeah, he's good.
It just wasn't his day, you know. You know, but there again, Aguero missed how many?
Yeah, it was a great game. And Stones blocked a certain chance. I thoroughly enjoyed the game. I thought when Man City equalised, they get on top, but Liverpool, to their credit, Liverpool haven't lost against the top guys.
No.
They lose to Burnleys.
Yeah,
they lose to Hulls.
Well, if there's only 7 teams in the league, including Everton, I think they'd be 4 points clear in the league table.
Is that right? There we go. There's a stat for you. Budge, tell me, why have they played an extra game?
Well, there's teams in Europe. You know, an FA Cup and so on.
It could backfire on them. Because I want to run through the league table at the moment. Chelsea, if you've endorsed them already, you've rubber stamped them. Spurs 59 points, and then 57 points Man City. Now I'll just touch on those 3 budgets because they've all had 28 games.
Yeah.
So Gary Neville was interviewed this weekend, and he said those 3 are in.
Yeah.
The next 3 are fighting for 4th. A lot of people are inclined to agree with them, even though there's a lot of water to flow under the bridge. Arsenal have a way of getting out of it. Liverpool have played 29 games as opposed to Man United's 27. Man United's won a game they've got as away to Man City.
Well, Paul, the reason I said I don't think we'll get top 4 is we've got all the big guns to play. Arsenal away, Tottenham away, Man City away, Chelsea, Everton at home.
You've got to play with all 5 of those?
All those 5. So we're under severe pressure. We're struggling with players. And to me, other than Zlatan, and everybody has a go at
Where's
Pogba, the guy,
Mkhitaryan or whatever his name is?
Mkhitaryan's back.
He's a good player.
A top player. We just need a run.
Pogba?
Yeah, he's a good player, Paul. He hasn't had a good season, but he's a top player.
He's shown it for his country.
When we get 3 or 4 more in, then you'll see.
I know you're making bold predictions that look foregone. I'm going to put you under more of a pressure here.
Yeah.
Rubber stamping Chelsea to win. Everyone can say that. 99% of the population can say, I want to make it tougher for you.
Yeah.
You're top 4. I ask you this each week because I think it can change.
I hate to say Liverpool have finished above United, but I think they will.
What about Arsenal?
Gone. Forgotten.
Arsenal.
They play Man City in the next game at home.
Okay, so let's just look at Arsenal 27 games. So just say they win it, they go to 53.
No, sure, it's possible.
It's possible. Man United 52. They could lose to Man City.
Yeah.
And they'd be 52 of 28. Interesting, which means Arsenal would have gone past them. But this is all hypothetical. So very interesting.
Now there is another
Everton
going well. Next game.
Can they get into Europe?
I think they will. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the next game, Liverpool away
to Everton.
Lunchtime kickoff next Saturday. But there's also one
I love my chips
question that I'll ask you.
Yeah.
And I don't think anybody will know this.
Well, you better ask me then, Budge.
Leicester win the Champions League.
Yes.
I think there's only 3 other teams that qualify.
That's right. 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
It happened to Spurs.
Yes.
Spurs ran fourth with Big Harry. And Chelsea won the Champions League. Drogba's era.
Yeah.
So, Budge,
so the teams in the 4th, 5th and 6th.
Leicester will not win the Champions League, even with William Shakespeare doing his sonnet.
Yeah.
Let me not in the marriage of true minds a bit impediment. He will be doing a bit of Shakespeare for us. But great Premier League this year. It's just a pity, Budge, that Chelsea instead of 60,
have been
give them 60.
This defence would be outstanding.
Absolutely. Well done to the guy. Now he's trying to buy a couple of big players. But let's look at the Champions League's draw. Sure. Borussia Dortmund, Monaco. Tough.
Yeah, 2 teams that deserve each other, Paul.
Okay.
They're both Grand Prix teams. I like Dortmund of the 2, but it won't be easy.
You like Dortmund. I'll give a little tick next to that. Juventus, Barcelona. Juventus have had a good year. Barcelona or Barcelona?
Well, they got us our 6er on the weekend. I watched it, Juventus. I can't see them beating Barca, but they're well organised, But you got to fancy Barca.
Is it one-off?
No, home and away.
Atletico Madrid, Leicester City.
Well, I think that's the worst draw for Leicester because Atletico play the same style. That's Simeone. He's a hatchet man. And he'll get them fired up. I think they'll get beat home and away.
I don't know if they've got the quality.
No.
Okay, and then Bayern Munich, Bayern München against Real Madrid.
Well,
great tie.
I went for Bayern to win it, so I've got to fancy it.
Real
Madrid defensively have been poor.
Yeah.
Other than Sergio Ramos, they've been really, really sluggish. Ronaldo's not the same player. But it's time for Bayern. They're flattered to deceive over the years.
They've been a good team.
Yeah, Ancelotti, when he was there, they got to 3 semi-finals. They played all 3 Spanish teams and got beat.
Okay.
Now this is the 4th one.
Oh, okay.
So
Budge, the first leg, 11th and 12th of April. Second leg, 18th and 19th. Okay, so very interesting. Semi-final, 20th of May. The final
is in Cardiff. Yeah.
Cardiff, eh? Gee, the coal miners will be queuing up to watch a big game. Okay, let's get on to English League One. Now we're talking about where we can have our bets, and you guys can have a bet. And Track and Ball, thanks very much for some figures here to Budge and I can talk through. I am not quite sure what's going on, but Swindon Town at home to Millwall. Swindon Town are 23rd?
Yeah, second bottom, struggling.
24 teams in the league.
Yeah. Well, they're the first league, the Premier is 20, and it's 24 the rest of them,
Is that right?
So
Budge, it's tough to get back up.
It's really, really difficult, Millwall are unbeaten in 16. Remember they had the good FA Cup run, Millwall, until Spurs beat them.
Yes.
Only thing I thought 9 to 10 was a good price, but they've drawn 5 of the last 6 away games, Millwall. You've got to fancy them on the 2 teams. But
AFC Wimbledon, are they still the crazy gang?
That's the original crazy gang. Now they played their adversary, what do you want to call them, last week, MK Dons, at home last week. And? They beat them 2-0. They're going well at home, Now Southend, the in the playoff places, Southend, but away
Southend
from
are
home.
favourite because they're sixth. The other team are 13th.
Yep, but they hit and miss away from home, Southend.
3 and 3. Yeah,
I think Wimbledon can get something out of that. Yeah.
Okay. Next one, Fleetwood Town are away to Bury.
Well, Bury, that's a Lancashire derby. Bury are going well. Unfortunately,
they're 17th, but
yeah, but at home they've had a good run recently.
Yeah.
Now Fleetwood Town's managed by the guy whose father bombed Old Trafford, Huey Rosler. They're third in the league. Now they won 5 of the last 6 away games.
Budge, that might be worth taking the 12 to 10.
Well, local derbies, Paul, and this time of the year, it's desperation. Guys are playing for the rent money. Yeah. So, of the 2 teams, I fancy Fleetwood, obviously, but it won't be easy.
Chesterfield, named after a cigarette.
Spire-Arts,
Rochdale. Chesterfield are 22nd, and Rochdale are 10th. 8 to 10 Rochdale.
Chesterfield in relegation trouble, and Rochdale are just outside the playoff places. So they both obviously have to go for it. They're going to be plenty of goals here, Paul. Rochdale are the 2 teams you've got to fancy. But, it's
Coventry, Budge. Coventry in the next game. They're bottom of the log. They win the Premier League.
16 points from safety with 8 games to go.
Jimmy Hill. Was it Jimmy Hill?
Jimmy Hill, yeah.
The Sky Blues, I think.
Well, they beat Spurs in the cup final, didn't they?
That's right. Bristol Rovers should be too
Pirates,
strong.
Yeah, should be. There's only one thing that I'm worried about this game, is that the EFL trophy, which is for the teams in League 1 and League 2, Coventry have reached the final at Wembley. They're taking 40-odd thousand fans to the game. Now, in midweek, they beat Port Vale 2-1 at home. Now, you can imagine all the players. Hey, I want to play at Wembley.
I'm going to Wembley.
So, the guys this week will be trying to rubber stamp their name on the team card.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing that I can see in Coventry's favour. But you should fancy Bristol Rovers on current form.
The Pirates.
The Pirates.
Pete the Pirate.
Yep.
Pete the Pirate. Peter Ray, yeah. Okay, fantastic. Let's move on to them. Gillingham, Peterborough, the Posh.
The Posh.
Who's in charge of Posh? Wasn't Ferguson's son
it's a guy called Grant McCann, my dad played for Peterborough, and that put me off golf. Because we used to live on Peterborough, yeah. They got the semi-final League Cup in 1965, and living on the outskirts of the ground, my dad loved golf, and he used to hit the golf balls into the stadium. And I had to go and run around and fetch them. So after a Sunday of...
So you're persona non grata at Peterborough. You've given up golf.
Yeah.
But how will they do? It's 18th place, 12th.
Yeah, another desperate encounter, Paul. I've gone win, draw, Gillingham. Peterborough away from home. They've won one of the last 6.
Okay, that's a fact,
So Gillingham.
Northampton, more famous for rugby.
Yeah, the Cobblers,
Yeah, the Cobblers are playing Oxford United, one of 4 teams one year who got an X in their name.
Okay.
Yeah.
Crewe Alexandra obviously won.
Crewe Alexandra, Wrexham, Oxford, and got me now.
The other one, yeah. But they are Northampton, Shaquille O'Neal's.
Halifax, where they got the tin tax. Okay, so Oxford, Northampton.
Yeah, they're both in good form.
Yeah, both in very good form.
One's won 5 of the last 6 at home, one's won 5 of the last 6 away. You've got to fancy Oxford of the 2, but I think there'll be plenty of goals.
Oxford guys, I think, would be brighter.
Yeah. Well, the guy, I think, Michael Appleton, he's, of all the ex-Man United players, I think he's the only one that's won a trophy.
Okay. Oldham Athletic, Sheffield, these are names, Budge, that we've seen over the years in higher leagues, a lot of these teams.
Dennis Irwin from Man United, he came from Oldham. Oldham in the 90s with Ferguson when he first won the FA Cup, they were the team he stuck out in the semi-final. Oldham had good players.
Yeah.
No,
they're muck.
Struggling, but they've been going well.
Third tier down.
Yeah, League 1, third tier,
So they are at 19th or something against Sheffield United, league leaders.
Yeah.
They've got to be
certainties to come back up.
5 to 10.
5 to 10, yeah.
Okay. Take a bit of 1 to 2. Sheffield, you heard it here. Shrewsbury against Bolton. Bolton, the team were up there. Remember Big Sam?
Big Sam's team, yeah. I've been to Bolton.
Shrewsbury?
Freezing, yeah. Shrewsbury also struggling. Yeah. They've come well, Shrewsbury of late, Paul. They've won 5 of the last 6.
That's right, yeah.
But Bolton, second in the league, they've invested. The guy, they went into liquidation. And they took the 10-point deduction last year. New owners.
Oh, okay.
Got a new manager, Phil Parkinson, who was at Bradford, and they're expecting to come up.
They come up. It's a great move. Yeah. After a start like that.
It's a nice club.
And then
Bolton.
A tough game. Scunthorpe against Bradford City.
Desperation game. Yeah, these are 4th and 5th in League 1. It's a Sunday kick-off lunchtime, and thankfully the clocks go back.
Yeah, to go back Saturday. Saturday it's 2 hours.
Yeah.
Sunday it's 1 hour. Can you believe it?
I think there'll be goals in that game. Scunthorpe were well clear at one stage.
Yes.
Yeah, I think they've won the last 14.
Wow,
Struggling.
what's happened?
No, Bradford don't get
Beefy
beat.
Bothan came from Scunthorpe. He was sent off for
Ray
Scunthorpe.
Clements.
Ray Clements, yeah.
There were 3 English captains come from.
That's one was cricket. Yeah,
okay,
cricket.
That was a trick question.
Okay.
Yeah. Bradford.
Right, let's go on to the World Cup qualifiers, Budge. We've got Andorra against the Faroe Islands.
Andorra played on an artificial pitch. That's the only thing in their favour. Since they've been allowed to play in Europe in the World Cup, they've played 96 qualifying games.
And they won how many?
1. They've lost their last 22.
Put the lights up.
You know, the only thing is
6 to 10
Faroe Islands are another small
Faroe
nation, but they upset us a couple of months ago. They beat Latvia 2-0 away.
Yeah.
So,
They
you know,
must be
can
right.
you take 6 to 10 Faroe Islands on a carpet?
Yes, you can. Bosnia-Herzegovina, Gibraltar. Rock solid defence, Gibraltar.
Seamus. Looks like one-way
40
traffic
to 1.
there. Yeah.
Okay, Bosnia will win there.
Certainties, yeah.
Cyprus, Phil Georgia's hometown.
Full Georgia against Estonia. Now,
Estonia.
both teams, the only team they've beat, ironically, is Gibraltar. So, 2 out-of-form teams. You know, Cyprus can't score.
Yeah.
So, I've gone win and draw Estonia, one of our bets. Any result wouldn't surprise me. The only reason I've gone for Estonia, the centre-half from Liverpool's back here, that Klavan.
Yes.
Klavan, he's their captain. So, you'll have a bit of solidarity at the back. I think they'll get a point there.
Sweden 4 to 10 to beat Belarus. There's no Zlatan for Sweden.
No, but they should still. They drew with Holland in their last home game. Yeah, a lot of youngsters coming through, but they should still be too good for Belarus. Yeah.
Switzerland are 1 to 10 against Latvia. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay, let's move on.
There.
Belgium 3
Good
to
game.
10 against Greece.
Be a good game. There's
You
no
think so?
Hazard this week. You know, Greece have come right. Remember the old Greeks? They didn't give anything away.
Yeah.
Like
They won the
shopkeepers.
European Championship,
They
yeah.
beat Ronaldo's Portugal.
Yeah, the shopkeepers. That's
They're
their
going to have
nickname.
to open up here. You've got to think
But
Belgium would
when
be
you
too
just
good.
look at the influence in British football from Belgium, just at Spurs, you know, you got Dembele and Vertonghen. You've got
Courtois in goals.
Lukaku,
Yeah.
Hazard.
No, there's plenty of them.
There's
Fellaini.
Fellaini, your man Fellaini.
Oh, Lukaku. Yeah, there's plenty of them. Benteke.
Benteke, there's a couple of goalies.
Well, what about you've got Hazard on the one, De Bruyne? No, they're stacked.
They're stacked. They're just too good.
Yeah.
Okay, then let's go on to the next one. Bulgaria 9 to 2 against the Dutch. The Dutch too good, Netherlands.
Well, the Dutch were disappointed. Never qualified for the last Euros. But one major ingredient's back.
What's
Arjen
that?
Robben.
Yeah.
I watched him play against Arsenal.
Is he still with Bayern?
You know, his performance there, he gave those boys
He
a
looks
roasting.
like Wixie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I'd say it won't be easy for the Dutch because you can't trust them.
Yes.
But they're slowly coming. You know, Van
They're
Dijk will
getting-
be back soon.
they're getting the right.
You know, Wijnaldum, they stacked.
Yeah. Okay. Luxembourg, France.
You can't see France, even though Pogba's not playing.
Why is he not playing?
Well, he pulled a muscle.
Okay. Okay. Then Portugal.
Well, Portugal are
Hungary.
second in the group. They're in the same group as Switzerland, and Switzerland beat them in the first group game because there's only one team is automatic in the qualifiers. Then 8 of the next 9 qualifiers are in playoffs.
Yeah.
So if you don't finish top, you runner-up, you're in trouble. But you've got to fancy the Portuguese, you know.
Hungary.
Well, Hungary played well in the Euros.
I thought so.
Yeah,
I
they
thought
got beat
were good.
4-0 by Belgium, but the last 2 goals, they were trying to get back into the game. But I was impressed. So
No, I thought Hungary were right.
they've got to
as
have
well.
a go. I think there'll be goals.
Okay, Armenia 8 to 10 against.
Well, this is one of our
Kazakhstan.
bets. Yeah, that's our Armenian midfielder, Henrik Mkhitaryan. Yeah.
Okay, good.
And
We'll go for
Kazakhstan
that.
are struggling. Yeah, we've gone for Armenia because the prices on a lot of them are horrendous.
Azerbaijan versus Germany. Germany certainties.
Should be.
Certainties. Let's go. England, Lithuania.
Yeah.
23 on Lithuania. 1-8.
You know,
England should
England are
win
coming, Paul. You
Yeah,
know, they're
they
just
definitely are.
one or
They
two
have
players
since
from being a
1960.
really good team.
66. They're coming since 66.
Yeah, but, you know, 2002 they were competitive too until the goalkeeper got beat from 60 yards. Remember, Seaman? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. San Marino, Czech Republic.
They've never won a qualifier, San Marino.
So Czech
so it's-
Republic, absolute banker. 1-100. Haven't seen that often. Malta, 20-1.
you know,
Slovakia, 1-8.
Yeah. Some nice
And in the
players,
last couple of
Slovakia.
World Cup qualifiers, Montenegro versus Poland.
Yeah, this is first against second. You know, Poland are one of those teams that have a go, but they can't afford to get beat here, so they may sit back. They got Lewandowski. They got some good players.
Yeah.
Montenegro, Jovetic, and all his crew won't make it easy.
Okay,
It's a
let's
tight
go
game.
Northern Ireland, Norway.
Well, they've still got your man up front.
Lafferty, Carl
Laff's still
Lafferty.
up front. I've gone for them here.
Laff will tuck a few.
No doubt. You know, they've got that West Brom look about them. Johnny Evans and his brother. They've got Cathcart. They've got that Southampton midfield players, the captains of
so they're
David.
doing all right,
They've got some, and it's better at home. Norway has struggled lately.
Yeah.
You know, I like the Northern Ireland to win
but
here.
let's move on because we've got to get the bets on. Romania versus Denmark.
Desperation game.
Joint
Two out of
favourites.
form teams. Draw a player.
Scotland, Slovenia.
I can't have Scotland, Paul.
Tough game.
Yeah, shocking.
Okay, well, let's go and see. This is where we separate the men from the boys, your bets, because you're having such a good run.
Yep.
Here they'll come up on the screen now. I've got them here in
Yeah,
front
the
of me.
Soccer 6, we spend our customary
But
2-1-6.
explain these games to me.
I've gone Fleetwood win and draw against Bury. You know, if you want to halve the perm, you can bank a Fleetwood. But, you know, we can throw the draw in there. AFC Wimbledon, Southend, the good home form puts me towards AFC Wimbledon. I've gone the Field in Chesterfield, Rochdale, both out of form. Coventry, Bristol Rovers, that's the one I've gone for the upset with the FA Cup coming next week. And I bank at the top 2 teams in League One, Sheffield United and Bolton. Yeah.
Okay, here's the second one.
Now, this is the international one. I've gone 1, 2, 3. I've looked for the upset purely because Faroe Islands aren't the strongest of teams. Cyprus, Estonia, I don't trust either of them. Because we can, I've thrown the draw in with Sweden. I've banked Belgium to beat Greece. I've thrown the draw in with Holland against, or Netherlands against Bulgaria, and bank at Portugal. You know, you could bank a Sweden and take a lesser perm a few times if you want, but I always try to go and beat them.
We've been catching these soccer
well, we
six
caught
and
the
soccer
6.
tens.
We caught 10 paid 5, 6 last week, excluding the 9.
Excellent.
So,
So that's
nice
a good
run,
profit for us, Now, let's have a look at this. Now, South Africa got a friendly against
it's a friendly
Guinea-Bissau.
at Durban, Moses Mabhida in Durban.
When has this been played?
This is Saturday, 3 o'clock. The thing is, you know, South Africa unbeaten the last 15 games.
Is that guy Rory back? What's his name?
Keegan Dolly. I haven't seen the squad, but I'd imagine. They're both the friendly games, so you don't really know.
You bank at Switzerland?
Well, Switzerland against Latvia. You know, they're 1 to 10. You've got to bank it. Then Bosnia to beat Gibraltar.
Got to.
You know, I've gone the Field with Andorra, Faroe Islands, and Cyprus and Estonia.
Yeah, those anything can happen. Let's look at the bottom half.
You know,
of the
Sweden,
soccer
I've
10.
thrown the draw in against Belarus. If you want to take half the perm, well, bank a Sweden. Belgium should beat Greece.
Yes.
You know, I've thrown the draw in with Netherlands, looking for an upset, and France will beat Luxembourg, and Portugal should beat Hungary.
144.
Yeah, you know.
Right, now, Budge, here's the one, I think we got 10 this last time.
Yeah, we got 10 of the 13. You know, you see, I've gone for
A lot of
teams
bankers
here.
earlier.
Yeah, you know, bank at Sweden, you know,
Netherlands.
Netherlands I've gone for, Switzerland, Portugal, Belgium. I've gone the draw with Estonia, and I've taken a chance there. I've gone Fleetwood to beat Bury.
Okay, and the other page?
No, the top game, match 8, is a trick one because the Swedes who run the Soccer 13 have hashed this up. It's Port Vale are playing MK Dons.
I wanted to ask you about this.
Yeah.
Charlton Athletic, they've got them to play. They are not playing them.
It's the wrong game. They put the wrong name.
So it's Port Vale. So people must remember.
Okay, now it's the
match
Field.
8,
Okay.
We've got to explain this. So in South Africa, that leg would become null and void.
The
You get all
Field
three.
would apply.
What's it in Sweden?
Okay, now the Swedish government are involved because they control everything there. Now what they do, they allocate 16 balls.
To be pulled out of
be pulled out of the computer,
ballot.
a hat, whatever. Now the allocation is 11 are on the home team.
Okay.
11 of the 16 are on the home team. 3 are on the draw.
And 2 on...
And 2 are on the away team.
So you got a lump on.
Well, we
It's
did
still
that
luck in
once,
the draw.
and the draw came and we got stitched. But if you want to play that way,
So
I've gone...
we've got to tell the public this. Bear in mind, match 8. If you go 1, you've got 11 16ths, 3 16ths to draw and 2 16ths. So you decide it's completely ballot. You want to go 1, 2, 3. What did you do?
You know, I went 1, 2, 3, Paul.
Yeah,
You know, just
okay.
to
Of course.
just to be on the safe side. But you know, by right, if I had it again, I'd say, you know what? Let me take a chance and bank of the 1.
Yeah.
Then the perm comes to 109 rand.
Okay, well let's go on. You've gone.
Then I've gone Rochdale, the 2 teams. They're a better team than Chesterfield. Likewise, Bristol Rovers over Coventry. I've given Gillingham the nod over Peterborough. Likewise, Oxford over Northampton and AFC Wimbledon over Southampton.
There we go.
Southend,
3-2-7. If you want to go to match 8 and bank a 1. Now we come to what is definitely the most exciting part for me. Budgie's best. Now, Budgie, I want to run through these. International treble. Northern Ireland, Lafferty.
Well, I've gone Laff and Co. Northern Ireland to beat Norway. I've gone Armenia to beat Kazakhstan, and I've gone the Dutchman to beat Bulgaria.
I like that treble. Now you're going international goals treble.
Obviously, there's total goals in these games. I've gone over 2.5 goals, so there has to be at least 3 goals in the Montenegro-Poland and the Switzerland-Latvia game, and over 3.5 goals in the Luxembourg-France game.
Wow. Okay, that makes it interesting.
11-2 there. Yeah.
Okay, now your international
Okay, now
team.
this is the team. Each of these teams has to score at least 3 goals.
Okay, who are they?
Okay, it's Slovakia are playing against Cyprus. Sorry, Slovakia are playing against Malta, sorry.
They've got to score 3 times. England
are playing against Lithuania.
Germany
are playing against Luxembourg. And Switzerland are playing against Latvia.
So we relied on the English.
You know, Paul, the odds were so bad.
Yes.
3-10, 1-5s. I thought, let's try and create something for the punters. And it works out at 9.5 to 1. I thought, for an interest, it's a good bet,
Win and draw fiver?
Okay, yeah, these are the teams. The one we caught last week was a win and draw fiver. I've gone Estonia to get at least a win or a draw against Cyprus. I've gone Slovenia to win or get a draw in Scotland, which will keep my dad happy. I think Fleetwood will get a draw against Bury. AFC Wimbledon win and draw over Southend, and Gillingham over Peterborough. It worked just under 7-1. Now, they're both teams to score market, which we do every week. It's 4 teams, all from League One: Northampton, Oxford, Coventry, Bristol Rovers, Chesterfield, Rochdale, and Scunthorpe, Bradford.
Oh, we've got to hope for goals, Budge. It's never easy.
Never easy. Then the last one, I didn't do the 6 and Nexa because of the teams that I liked. They were all
1-200s.
Come on. So I went match bet. Now, Belgium and Portugal have to win. And all 4 teams, Belgium are playing Greece and Portugal are playing Hungary. All 4 teams have to.
10 to
so
1.
it's a minimum 2-1. So I took 2,200 there, Paul.
Fantastic.
Difficult weekend, but had to try and find something for the
good.
people.
No, I like it, Budge. And there we go. Those are the bets for this weekend. Budge has been red hot at the moment, and we're going to nail that 13 one of these days. We're getting the 10s and the 6s, and the best bets are coming through. Thanks very much. We'll see you next time when we're onside.